When you think about theme parks, I can almost guarantee you the first thing you think about is either Disney or Universal. These two chains have been at the top of the market for years and have been fighting for this top spot with millions of dollars. I say fighting, but that might be a bit generous. Disney has been so far ahead that whenever Universal actually does do something good, it's kind of like Chris Paul cutting the lead down to 42 in that one clip. They managed to make up some ground, but Disney has always been ahead in attendance, revenue, market share, brand recognition, and pretty much every measurable metric for theme parks. But that run of dominance could be coming to a close. Universal has been on a tear recently, opening huge new additions to critical acclaim and is nowhere near stopping. So today in this video, I want to talk about how Universal can overtake Disney. I'm going to be mostly focusing on the Florida parks because those are like the epicenters of both chains, but what I'm saying can pretty much be applied to the entire chain nationwide and worldwide. First though, some history. Disney has always been on top of the theme park chain with pretty much zero competition. Like, who else can even really come close to the quality of a Disney park? Six Flags? SeaWorld? Peanuts compared to Disney. Chump change. That was until Universal opened the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in 2010. And this was one of the most impactful openings in theme park history. Seriously, I know that sounds like a bold statement because it is, but this land seriously changed the game, and you can still see how it's affected new additions to this day. It was the first fully immersive movie-themed world that brought you straight into the IP, which is something that has been replicated time and time again, but just to not as good of an extent. I could make a whole video on this land, but the main takeaway is that Universal would be in shambles without this, and it really put it in the conversation with Disney as an industry leader. This really is their biggest IP and is still a main draw for people to go to these parks over Disney parks. And after this, Universal started taking their parks a little more seriously. They built another Harry Potter themed land in their studio parks, which is the best part about that park. They retracked Hulk, they added immersive simulator physical hybrids like Kong, and of course they built Hagrid's and VelociCoaster, their two premier coasters. Obviously I didn't name every single edition since Harry Potter, and obviously not every edition has been a smash hit, but there is a general rise in quality of editions since Hogsmeade in 2010. You can see that they really started to put effort into making the rides more unique and immersive and not just copy and paste box simulators. Instead, we have roller coasters, jeep rides, boat rides, and just completely new systems in general. I think though it's really ramped up as of recent years. Let's talk about Hagrid's first because that was a huge deal when it opened and it still is today. This is Universal going all out. They took their favorite child franchise and threw as much money as possible, and the result was one of the best coasters in the US. But it's not because it's super thrilling or super intense. Don't get me wrong, it's not boring, but it's also not gonna blow your socks off. This ride is more about immersion. They went all out with animatronics, on-ride audio, landscaping, even just down to the trains. The motorcycle and sidecar combo just adds so much to the ride. I don't really have an intricate, well thought out explanation for why this ride is good. It just is. You can tell that a lot of care went into it just from the POV. This is the only Universal ride where I really felt that Disney magic. Now, yeah, I know that's a bit of a weird statement, but trust me, if you've written it, you know what I'm talking about. And I think that's the problem for Disney. That childlike wonder that people associate with Disney parks and has been really a draw to Disney parks for so many years is starting to be found at Universal. Obviously, it's very subjective, but I really felt that joy that I felt when I first went to a Disney park while riding Hagrid's. Now, the same cannot be said for VelociCoaster, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because while Hagrid's focuses on the magic of theme parks and showing how much you can really be pulled into the world, VelociCoaster shows you how intense those worlds can be. Bars. There's less theming with this one, but that's not to say it's not well themed, because it is. The first half is built into a cage filled with rocks, plants, trees, and even other raptors that you narrowly avoid, but the main draw is the second half. You burst out of the tunnel into the top hat and all of the chaos begins. In my humble opinion, this is a perfect roller coaster. It combines the perfect amount of theming with intensity and spectacle and is easily my #1. With both Hagrid's and VelociCoaster and all the other great rides like Spider-Man, Forbidden Journey, and Hulk, Islands has really morphed into a completely new beast and is by far my favorite park in Florida. Yes, better than all 4 Disney parks, and also ironically better than the flagship Universal park. And let's not forget about the completely new park Universal just built with Volcano Bay. This is the first water park Universal has ever built, and it really is an amazing water park. It's also the best water park in Florida with its dense theming and thrilling rides. So now Universal is the best water and theme park in Florida, and even on those factors alone, you can see a shift in attendance. You can see how attendance was on a steady rise until COVID hit, and even after that, it recovered pretty quick. But I think a more telling sign, at least for how they're projecting it's gonna go, are their hotels. They've been steadily building more hotels to accommodate more people that they think will be in their parks. 2016, they built the Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort. 2018, they built Adventure Hotel. And 2019, they built the Surfside and Dockside Suites for the Endless Summer Resort. I know hotels are kind of a weird roundabout way to say a boost in attendance, but I think it definitely means something. The parks are taking notice and they're trying to plan for the more people they think will be coming. But quality additions, hotels, and attendance can only take you so far. Disney is still a juggernaut and they would really need to mess up for Universal to take them over. Fortunately for Universal, They are. Disney has had a trend of recently lower quality attractions for higher prices. First of all, Disney prices have skyrocketed to a level that are pretty much unaffordable to most people. The whole dream of going to Walt Disney World that so many adults have is kind of becoming pretty much impossible for most people. Now, the baseline day ticket prices for Disney parks and Universal parks are pretty much identical, but that's not accounting for in-park spending. Disney Genie is pretty much useless unless you buy Genie Plus, which is very expensive. There's also increased prices for food and merch in the parks with all the new rides that they've been building, and the removal of non-expiring park tickets. And that's not even mentioning the hotels that cost an arm and a leg. Now, normally these prices would be fine. People are okay with paying the Disney tax for the high quality stamp that comes with it, but that's the thing. That stamp isn't always guaranteed. Disney has been on a hot streak recently of pretty mid rides since 2020. There have been some good rides, but there have also been some steamy disasters. There's of course the Star Wars Resort that was recently announced to be closing after being open for not even 2 years. There was the failure of the Disney Genie rollout. There was the incredibly mid Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and the one and done Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Ratatouille was good, and so was Rise of the Resistance, but they're both ports from other parks. Same goes for Tron, and the only good original ride they've had in the past couple of years is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and that got delayed by years. Now, obviously, these aren't horrible dips in quality, but they're definitely not up to the Disney standard of a couple of years ago. It's just a lot of these rides are aggressively mid, but like the actual definition of mid. Not good, not bad, it just is. It's mid. Middle of the pack, not remarkable in really any way. Frozen, Millennium Falcon, Mickey and Minnie's, and even Ratatouille at some points are all just mid. And they've been able to coast on mid for a while, but while they're raising their prices and when Universal is starting to up their game, it kind of shows the decline in quality. Universal has consistently been opening bangers: Hagrid's, Velocicoaster, Kong, and Volcano Bay. And that's not even to mention Epic Universe with Super Nintendo World, another Harry Potter land, and I'm sure tons of other lands that will be Disney killers. I really think that the opening of Epic Universe could be just what Universal needs to edge out Disney. Disney has also currently no concrete plans for their Florida parks going forward. There's a lot of pipe dreams like friggin' Zootopia Land, but in terms of stuff that they're actually doing, you have this Epcot entrance. Yippee. Overall, Disney's lack of direction, rising prices, lower quality additions, combined with Universal stepping up their game, has made it very close, and for the first time, Universal could actually become more popular than Disney. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you agree Universal could become the new king of Florida, or if Disney will just reign supreme like they always do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.